Hey there, y'all. So I have some serious audio technical issues. So as soon as you get in here, let me know if you can hear me clearly, if I'm too loud or too quiet. I'll give it a moment for you all to get in here. It's been a while. I saw someone comment last night and you asked, hey, any updates? And I don't know. It was on the Venus Square Mars video, and it's actually funny. I do have updates on that. So stick around, subscribe if you want to hear an updated video on Venus Square Mars. Whether you're watching this live or in the replay, do comment and let me know if you want to watch an updated Venus Square Mars Synastry video, because I do have some new insights on that. And they also tie to natal, because I actually have that in my natal chart. So I am. And then I was at the psychic fair this weekend in Los Angeles, this about 2 weekends ago, and the man that runs the festival is an astrologist also. So he was actually showing me how to transmute the chakras. I haven't done any chakra videos yet, you guys, because there's just so many things that tie to the chakras. So I want to make sure that I'm really proficient in articulating it to you, but I'm definitely absorbing it, and eventually I will be a chakra expert, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. I still have to get this audio fixed, being that I have, Mercury square Uranus. I had bought a new computer about a year and a half ago so that the video cards would be better for you all to watch these videos. But yeah, I'm still working on the audio. I just sold a mic and I pulled out an older mic. See, it's saying I'm in the red, but then a lot of times you guys say you can't hear me. So just let me know. I'm giving a moment for you all to come in, but in case you're watching this on the replay, I want to get into it. So I've been seeing some things, in the little pop-up news that are, saying that Harry and Meghan are on the rocks. So kind of like I did with Megan Fox and MGK. I'll eventually link that video up here if you want to see it. But I want to get it in here before anything happens, so you can know my predictions. The other thing I do have to say is that I was going to shoot this in my bedroom for better audio, but now, of course, my neighbor moved out and they're remodeling in there, so now I'm by the noisy window. I can't seem to evade the noise. Well, no one's in here, so we'll just get started. Now, I'm not sure, I don't think you guys can see the mouse. I was trying to fix that. Sometimes I can get the mouse to show and sometimes I can't, but I can scroll and go from the different tabs here for you. So this is brand new. I now have it set up where I can use the really deep solar fire software to show you guys the really intricate charts, but I wanted to show you the divine timing database.com database that I just got to work miraculously about 2 months ago in one day. So this is the database where divinetimingdatabase.org entries are put in, but I opened it so that you can create your own free private database. And also, if you're a subscriber to Rotation 411 and you're watching this video, you will know the password for, oops, sorry, not clients. I keep clients in here as well as some other softwares, but for celebs, the username is celebs. And if you want to know the password, stick around to the end. All right. So, and also I'm going to try to save my actual prediction for how long Harry and Meghan are going to last. That's what this video is about. I'm going to save my prediction for how much longer they are going to last for the end of the video also, but you'll probably get some sort of idea as we go through. So since there's no one in here, and you can fast forward if you're watching this later, I'm going to go ahead and log in and add Meghan and Harry so that you can see how it's done. Oops, it was found in a data breach. All right. All right, so it's because it's universal, but so we're just going to go ahead and add them. And maybe one of you can put a timestamp for everyone if they want to skip past this, but it is a little bit, I feel like, I don't know, I'm a visual learner, a tactile learner, so I like to see, I'm a tactile learner, so I like to see someone actually do something for me visually. So for those of you that are like that, stick around for this and you can watch how I input these two. And for those of you that think you can figure it out yourself, which it's not too challenging, you can just go ahead and skip through this. All right, so already just pulling up, to get Harry's birth time in place and Megan's birth date time in place, we can already see what their dominants are in the Astro Theme database, which does not belong to me, but it's great for getting celeb information. And I like it too because if you look here, it tells you how reliable the score is. Sometimes there's conflicting birth times, not the score, the birth time. So let's go ahead and enter Megan first. She's August 4th, 1981. Oh wait, let's go ahead and, where was she born? Canoga Park. I think that is so hilarious that she was born in Canoga Park, you guys. I used to work out there, and it's part of the greater Los Angeles area, and it's not the nicest area. It's actually kind of one of the hoods of Los Angeles. No offense to anybody who's from there, but I mean, it's not too rough, but it is probably one of the rougher areas. That's the weird thing about LA, though. You turn the corner and you're in a nice neighborhood. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put Meghan Markle. And the reason that I'm going to give you guys the password is because I would love to encourage you to enter some of these celebrities if you want to play around, so that way I don't have to do them all. Am I spelling her last name correctly, you guys? I should know. I'm not even spelling her first name right. So we'll just do Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. I'm not very royal, obviously. Sussex. Sussex. So she is a Leo, and we already know that her moon, just from this Astro Databank, is in Libra, 1446. I'm finding more and more that the successful actresses in Hollywood are normally of a masculine moon, because masculine moons are more outgoing and social. 446. Oh, I keep forgetting her year. Oh, 1981. That's the problem. Okay. Again, I have terrible audio problems, so can't wait for someone to get in here and tell me I'm not wasting my time and having to reshoot this. 4:46 a.m. Okay, so we got her in there. I'm just buying time. And I'm not streaming on Twitch right now like I usually am, so. And Harry is September 15th, 1984, 4:20 p.m. So once you enter the data, then you want to go ahead and click at the bottom, and that enters it. And then you can go view her entry, or we're just going to go ahead and add Harry. We'll just put Prince Harry. Let's see. He was born in Paddington, London. This chair is so comfortable, but why does this say South Wales? AU. Oh, let's just put London, UK, right? Geography wasn't my best subject. I was just thinking, it's so ironic that the subjects that are challenging to me, I end up having to perfect somewhere along the line because of some other thing that I'm good at. Okay, so see, you can see here, London. Now you have to go over here. You can kind of see on the left the little abbreviations. US, 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 California, England. See? London, England. It has every location, but sometimes it's a little bit tricky confirming which one is right. So do pay attention there, but it's a lot easier than looking up this longitude and latitude, you know? Just put Prince Harry. And he is September 15th, 1984. So these open new tabs, so you can just close them when you're done, you know? Just double check. September 15th, 1984, and he's 4:20 p.m. Now it says 0 viewers, but sometimes it's like off 1 or 2. So if you're in here, go ahead and say hello in the chat. So now we can go to view your database. And here's the entries. I looked up Sandra Bullock and Jesse James. I did that for the demo videos. So now we look and we see Megan's ID number is 96 and Harry's is 97. And the reason the numbers are so high, like say you make your own private database, right now it's going to be ID number 98 when you enter yours as the first chart. And that's just because it's accumulating every single entry. So right now there's about 100 entries. And then as far as divinetimingdatabase.org, I'm still inputting those into that into the login for that one. But let's see, it will be automated probably within the next year or two. The more people that enter divinetimingdatabase.org, which is where you enter if you want to find, you know, the official Divine Timing database. Let me just go ahead and show you guys really quick. This is where you enter if you want to meet your best astrological match based on the synastry of what I'm showing you right now. So you go there, divinetimingdatabase.org, you can see it up there. Let's go back. This is .com. This is where you get the free private database where you can store all of your people. Because I know for me, it's like I'm always running the charts on the free online sites, and then I'm like, wait, what was their birthday again, and what were the aspects? And so now it's made my life so much easier. And what I like about it is because my deep software is only on my Windows computer, and like right now I'm using the Mac, so this database I can access from my phone, from any computer, from anywhere, and that's what I love about it. So I've been making sure to store all my data in here. Okay, so 96 and 97 are their ID numbers. And the other thing I love about this database is you can run the composite and the Davidson in here, which didn't used to be so simple. You had to like go and you have to put the birth dates each time. But here you can just put 96, 97, and you could just run, you know, you can run the synastry, the composite, just with the ID numbers. So you don't have to keep re-entering the birth data, which, trust me, I've done a million times. So I probably got 10,000 hours just on that, you guys. So I'm actually curious to look in here. I'm going to zoom out the browser a little. I'm curious to look because I've read a few articles. Like I've watched like, oh, what's Venus sextile Pluto, I think. Or I think they have a Venus-Pluto aspect. And I've watched videos on that use them as an example. But I haven't actually dug into their synastry. All that I can tell you is just based on looking at right here and right here, it's not good, and I'll tell you why. Her moon is in Libra, which is a masculine moon, and his moon is in Taurus, which is a feminine moon. And if you have been following along at all, you know that at this point, after looking at so many charts, whether it be celebrities, people that I know, a lot of clients, thousands of clients, over and over again, it's affirmed to me that if you don't have moon compatibility, you're not going to make it very long as a couple. If you don't have any malefic aspects, or you have maybe some sort of social constructs that are keeping the marriage in place, You might make it a little longer, but I'll tell you at the end how long I predict they're going to make it, solely based on their moon signs, but we haven't even gotten into the malefic aspects yet. I love it. I finally get it together to shoot a video, and it's just going to be, we had road construction outside for literally 4 months straight, and now they're out here pounding away, so it's beautiful. All right, so let's see here. So he's a Virgo sun, that's what I want to look at, and she is a Leo sun. So I really don't feel that the sun signs make a big difference when it comes to compatibility. Yes, it's going to definitely give you insight on how you interact with each other and what your differences are, but or similarities. And yes, if the moons or if the suns are both in the same polarity, which would be masculine or feminine, it is going to make life easier. Here, she's double masculine, right? She's a Leo sun with a Libra moon, and he's double feminine. Virgo sun with a Taurus moon. Now you would say, well, don't opposites attract? Well, for one, I've found, especially with Venus and Mars aspects, that it's not good when the man's playing the female planets or the feminine energies. And that could be why people, I mean, a lot of people just adore them, but a lot of people think that, you know, she wears the pants in this relationship. So, I mean, it could be just because she is in more of the masculine energy. So now I'm really anxious. Let's get into their synastry aspects. So if you use divinetimindatabase.com, and I don't get any perks out of it. Really, I just want you guys to use it because I want you to promote divinetimindatabase.org. And if you join the affiliate program, let me just go ahead and go there so I don't have to keep. See, I can't even type it in, you guys. Ha! Divine Timing Database.org. See, it's giving me .com. Then when I want to go to .org, the sites link back and forth to each other, but let's see here. Okay. You can join the affiliate program over here. There it underlines. It doesn't show you my cursor, but it underlines. You can go to the free database right here, which is the .com one that we're using. It explains everything here for you. And now, once you submit to the enter it, right? Enter the Divine Timing Database. This is for you single folks. If you're already in a connection, I mean, I have a lot of people in here that need matches. So, I mean, what do you have to lose, really? But once you enter the database here, this form, then you're going to get a login. You're going to create your login when you enter. And then you can log in here. And this is where you will chat with your matches. And what I love about it is it's all discreet. So I live in Los Angeles. So I mean, there's a chance there could be celebrities in here at some point that you could potentially be matched with. And I'm not using that as a gimmick. I'm using more the discretion part as a gimmick. Somebody told me it's like Talkify, where people, I didn't even know that, but I guess after the astrology part, it's like Talkify. And then I guess Pattern now also has a dating part, but it's still like a, you know, shop at your own risk kind of thing, where it gives you the good and bad. No, this, you will only be matched with people that you have great astrology with. So now I'm real curious. So let's get in their aspects. So back to what I was saying, and I'm going to make this short and sweet. You guys, I want to get in the groove. Please do donate if you want to see more of these, because I would love to get them out to you. But and you can donate at let's see, what is it? I think rotation411.live, but also PayPal has rotation 411. I'll put the links below. And then also, I think Venmo has a Divine Timing Database one that you could send money to. So, okay, I'll get reorganized, you guys. So the cool thing about this is, like, yeah, we can go in here and we can look at all of these degrees and all this complicated stuff. But if you're just a beginner and you don't really know what's going on, okay, so I left this dual cosmodine score in here for you guys. That's this little, you know, gas meter looking thing. And I left it in there for entertainment purposes. So to me, this is the equivalent of what most people think astrology is. I have run enough charts through this now, this dual cosmodine score, and I actually took off the dual cosmodine charts because I don't feel that it aligns with reality. So it's more one of those, well, astrology is fun to look at, but what does it really equate to real life predictions? No, this score here, -20, does not equate to real life predictions, okay? The more harmony in the chart, the better, yes, but it's based on too many different factors, and you can solely tell, if you guys know, first I look at the moon signs. So Harry and Meghan aren't doing too well there because their moons are not in the same polarity. And then I look at the aspects. So Venus square Mars. Whoever asked me for an update on that video, here you go. If you want to take an example of Venus square Mars, it's Harry and Meghan. Let's see, who's Venus and who's Mars? I have a feeling she's Mars here. Her Mars is 11 degrees Cancer, and his Mars is 16 degrees, and his Venus Libra, 17 degrees. That'd be 6-degree orb. Looks like they've got it going both ways to varying degree. So, and I'm just doing this. If you guys look up here in the list, I wish the mouse worked, but her Venus in Virgo would be squaring his Mars in Saggy, and his Venus in Libra would be squaring her Mars in Cancer, but that's going to be at a little bit wider orb. So yeah, her Mars is definitely hot on his Venus, which isn't the best. What I love is if you guys scroll down here, basically I'm trying to give you a shortcut. If you just want to kind of, I do this for my clients. They pay me at least $5 to do this really quick for them. You guys can literally go to divinetimingdatabase.org and get my definitions. And right now I've pretty much only got the best and the worst in here. Eventually it will all be filled out. You know, so you see here, like, Venus sextile Saturn, right? It's right below Venus square Mars here. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, is Venus, and Prince Harry is Saturn. Venus sextile Saturn here. I don't know if you can see that, but all these little ones that don't have definitions, they will eventually. But right now it's cool because you can just scroll down and you see Venus square Mars, a deal breaker divorce aspect. Right there, boom. Not going to work out for them for more than 15 to 20 years with that one. It's going to be a big blowout too. Jupiter square Jupiter usually means that there's prior marriages. Ben Affleck and J-Lo have that one. Stay tuned for that video. And so that's why they had to be married. You know, when they got together when they were younger, they weren't able to, you know, they had to marry other people before they could come back together. And I have an interesting prediction about them as well. So I think there's a donate box on here. I don't know where it went, but do donate and to the channel if you want to see more of these, you guys, because I have to prioritize things. I have a lot on my plate. So it's not like I'm begging for it. It's just the only way that I can justify spending the right amount of time on this. So yeah, so basically, though, so far, just skimming the definitions. Now, the one thing I do have to say is I don't have the Uranus aspects in here yet. And Uranus can create a lot of instability. So if we go back up here, I like this list. This list doesn't have definitions, but here we could go, okay, you know, the planets are all organized. So Megan's sun versus all his planets, her moon versus all his planets. So let's go down to her Uranus. Okay, her Uranus is in opposition to his moon. The moon is pretty friendly. That could create a little bit of emotional insecurity or instability in the connection, especially she could do things that are unpredictable, but it's not something that I feel is too detrimental that a couple can't overcome. Saturn square Jupiter, not the best. She definitely shows she's in more control here, and he's a little bit more go with the flow or philosophical when she's more like, no, we need to ground things. Still not the worst. Let's see, just skimming through these. Let's look at the malefics. Her Pluto is conjunct his Venus. I think that's the video I was watching. That's where there's a really deep, strong, powerful attraction here, and why they've, you know, pretty much circumvented and rebuilt their whole entire lives. Now, you know, I told you guys a lot of these, I do study people. I love biographies and I study the charts, but I don't get too much into their details or their biography or their history. When I'm doing this, I'm just telling you exactly what I see when I look at clients that, you know, they come to me and I don't know them and I'm looking. That's what I'm doing here. So, um, you know, the North Node square Pluto, it's a little bit karmic, but I don't think it'll break a couple. In my personal opinion, I haven't seen that pattern. Her Mars is opposite his ascendant. That means it's on his descendant, which is actually a good thing. It's a very passionate partnership. So overall, I was like, okay, how long have they been together, right? So where is okay, so I Googled, how long have Harry and Meghan been together? Now remember, when I'm looking at how long a couple's going to last, I'm looking at it from the origin date. So I'm not looking at it from when they got married. All right, so if a couple has, let's say for example, which they don't, but say a couple has Mars square Pluto and they get married 2 years in, they still have a five-year shelf life, give or take. So if they get married the first week they meet, they're still going to divorce within 5 or 6 years. If they never marry, they're still going to break up within 5 or 6 years. So with that being said, when the moons are incompatible, um, Harry and Meghan's, right? Because hers is masculine and his is feminine. Now, here's the thing that I wanted to note about their moons. When the moons are incompatible, sometimes it's just hard to get together, hard to ever move in together to begin with, even if there's no, you know, other challenges. But if there's very passionate aspects like Venus conjunct Pluto, they can still get together with the moons being incompatible. What you'll find when you're seeing incompatible moons, normally the pairings are going to be squares, so or co-rulers. So Libra and Taurus are both ruled by Venus, so their moons have a co-ruler. You'll see it with Pisces and Sagittarius. You'll see sometimes, not so much in romance, but I see it with friendships. And I do feel like friendships have an expiration date of about 10 years when the moons aren't compatible also. Family, not so much, but it's probably going to be the people that you don't stay as connected to or aren't as close with when they have different moons. More tight-knit families are going to have moons in the same polarities. You know, children that can live at home longer, not always, or let's say more comfortably longer, their parents are going to have moon compatibility with them. So kids that, you know, either they have some sort of enmeshment where they can't get out of the house, or kids that wanted to get out of the house very young are probably going to have moon incompatibility, because after about 10 or 15 years with those parents, they need their own emotional nourishment away from that parent. That parent only, you know, could kind of nurture them for so long because of the moon incompatibility. But anyway, with that being said, how long have they been together? It says they first met in 2016. It's now 2023. Okay, so that's what, 7 years. They're about at 7 years. So I said I'd save it for the end, and I'm going to wrap it up here. But before I give you my prediction, I will say that moon squares, now their moons aren't square here because Libra is cardinal and Taurus is fixed. And in order to be square, they have to be in the same modality, which means cardinal, mutable, and fixed. And if you don't know that, you don't know it. If you do, you're like, wow, she rambles that out fast, hopefully. But, you know, maybe I helped you be able to connect those synapses faster. Because, you know, the more you look at these things, the quicker it is for you to draw the patterns without having to, you know, pull up the charts. So with that being said, let's say his moon was in Cancer and her moon is in Libra. That would be a square. Normally you would see them have an even stronger emotional intense connection in the beginning. Maybe not stronger than them because they have like the Venus-Pluto thing going on, but you would have like, you can have a couple come together very strongly on a square. Like I'm a Virgo moon, and for years it was all Gemini moons and I couldn't figure out why. But it's, you know, probably has to do with my Mars in Gemini, but also just it's that square. And I'm seeing it more and more with clients. The square can be a very tight-knit couple for about 4 or 5 years, but it's going to break up faster than like a co-ruler situation where they're in different polarities. Now, if I'm speaking a foreign language to you, you can go to rotation411.com and I can break this all down for you, with your own personal circumstances and tell you what it means for you. I have a bunch of different synastry packages on there and tarot readings if you want, but basically what I'm trying to say is, because their moons are not square, but they have a co-ruler, and they have Venus square Mars, which can last about 15 to 20 years, but is a deal breaker, so they won't last forever. My prediction is they've got about 3 years left. With the kids, maybe maybe 12 to 15, but definitely if the moon incompatibility doesn't become too uncomfortable, by 15 years, that Venus square Mars is definitely going to break them up in a big blowout. And hopefully it's not too public, because they do have very deep and intense feelings. Now, I wanted to keep this at about 30 minutes, and that's where we're at. So I was thinking I could just go really quick and run. Her Venus is conjunct his sun. You see that a lot. Venus is, well, actually it'd be his Venus. Who's planet 1 and planet 2? Yes, she's 1. You'll see it a lot where the woman's sun is conjunct the man's Venus. So she does really adore him. For those saying like, oh, she was just using him or whatever. No, Venus conjunct sun. She probably adores him more than he adores her. Venus trine moon. That's a very loving aspect. I really like the Venus conjunct moon in relationships. The trine is very supportive as well. So you'll see a lot of astrologists say, oh, they have such great chemistry. I mean, they do, but those kind of aspects are not going to overcome an outcome of the moons being incompatible or a malefic deal breaker. So even like her Mars is sextile his moon, she's still very in the masculine. We'd almost rather see his Mars being sextile her moon, because then he's pursuing her feminine. So she is very masculine on him, and I think that's why it bothers people. But the thing is that he is double feminine, and a lot of times, like Taurus men, Taurus is the most feminine sign, do like to balance out with a more dominant female. Pisces does that too, so a lot of the time. So in Pisces, Venus is exalted in Pisces. So the last thing I just noticed here, her Venus is square his Uranus, so he does cause her some pain with his unpredictability. And I actually, Mars square Uranus and Venus square Uranus, you guys, if you watch there, I have that video. I'll link it above eventually when I review this. I do see some Mars square Uranus slip through the cracks now. Maybe they make it about 15, 20 years also, but it's on and off, hot and cold. It's not the best. But Mars really will fight for the connection, and Uranus will just keep coming back because he can, and then he'll leave, or she, or whoever. So here with Venus square Uranus, he does do unpredictable things and throw her off, and because with her Saturn and her masculine, she is very much in control most of the time. It does hurt her because it's her Venus, but it probably also it might be her that just gets fed up and walks away, even though we feel like it's going to be him that gets fed up and walks away. So yeah, but with the moons being incompatible, no matter how hard they try to make this work, after 10 years, it's all for optics if they're still together. And once that Venus square Mars, which is actually a double whammy for them, although her Mars on his squaring his Venus is about a 6 to 7 degree orb, but still it's her Mars on his Venus. So that double whammy there, I'm guaranteeing. I'm feeling it. That's why I wanted to get this video out to you guys. So hopefully the audio is decent. But there's going to be a big blowout, at least by 15 years. But I'm going to say that I almost feel like them having irreconcilable differences within the next 3 years, and they may peacefully go their separate ways. But if they try to cling on to this for another 5 years, and I get it, there's kids involved and stuff, but yeah, it'd almost be better if he bowed out quietly and went back to his family, and she went, back to acting or something. Then if they try to hold on to it for the sake of optics, there could be a major blowout that will be very publicly humiliating, especially with that Pluto conjunct Venus. I mean, there's a lot of passion, but yeah, I mean, they do have some nice stuff smoothing this out. Chiron trine Sun, she does heal him in a certain way. Maybe like the things with his mother, like that paparazzi thing. But then some people on the internet like to say, "Oh, she's just exploiting that." There is a lot of genuine you know, I'm the first to call out superficiality, and like I said, a lot of these actresses in Hollywood have masculine moons. That's why a lot of actors don't want to date actresses, famous actresses. They think it's because they're actresses. The reality is because they have masculine moons, so they're just not as. And a lot of times the male actors have feminine moons, so that then they think that's why they don't want to date an actress, because they're like too ambitious and hot on them, but no, are strong, but no, it's actually in the astrology, guys. Anyways, so with that being said, I wish them the best. I hope around 10 years they just kind of decide to maybe live down the street from each other and separate amicably, because if they hold on, it turns into 15 years. It could be a big blowout over the kids. And I do feel like with his Uranus square her Venus, she does get hurt. So when they have their big Venus square Mars double whammy blowout, it could get dirty, could get pretty bad. I would say within 3 years, though, if they're not this way already, they're going to be living like roommates or neighbors, and not like those other great aspects are going to. It's going to be disappointing because they might still feel them, but it's just the moon is a subconscious planet, and so if you're not compatible in the moon, you're just not going to live well together. It's interesting because I didn't look at any of this before I pulled it up. Aside from, like I told you guys, I saw that Venus conjunct Pluto video. I actually have a client I've been working with. I work with so many clients each day, you guys. So I hate to like call out their stuff, but I had one. I finally confirmed the moons, and his moon is Libra and hers is Taurus. And I was basically telling her, like, at this point, they have pretty decent synastry. They would already be living together. So it's kind of like, what are you holding on for? And she's already making plans, to go her own way. So it's kind of like, at this point, with as smooth as the synastry is between them, they would already be living together. So it's like, what are you waiting for? You're holding on to it because you think it's going to change, when in reality, even if you already had cemented it and lived together, you'd be growing apart because the moons aren't compatible. And this is why they never, moved in together. I don't want to say too much more about their details. I just think it's interesting that Harry and Meghan have the same moons, because I just looked them up this morning. So a lot of times, a lot of things resonate, but now I'm pushing 40 minutes. So, I'll show you guys real quick. If you want a reading from me, it's rotation411.com. Let's see. And I have, there's monthly horoscopes here that are free. You can come and check your monthly horoscopes. There's a virtual tarot deck. So it's a fun site you can play around on. Oh, and I put this, if you go to the horoscopes, there's a free manifestation PDF, and I've been using it for years. I revamped it to give to you guys, but I love it. So you can download that there. Everything's on sale right now. I put everything on sale because I upgraded my computer so I can do your orders a little bit faster now. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, I haven't even read mine this month, but you can go check them there. There's astrology resources where I show you how to, what sites I use and stuff. And then if you go to tarot readings and romance astrology and birth chart. So birth chart reading is where I do the natal readings. If you want to order and have me like go comprehensively over your birth chart, like planet by planet and house by house and aspect by aspect, and what that means for you, you go to birth chart readings. And I have a few different packages here. I also have software now where I can like customize your birth chart and frame it and everything. I do astrocartography where I can tell you, the best places to live for different things. So that is the natal chart, the natal readings. And then we have romance astrology. I have synastry. I can break down your synastry like I just did with Harry and May, and I can also do it if you don't have the birth times. I'm really good at it. Because a lot of times with my clients, I don't have the birth times, and I have the Davidson and all of that, framed composites. They say you got married, you want to do your anniversary dates, you want to do the transits. It's all there. We can really dig into it. And then tarot readings. If you want to order a quick tarot reading from me, it's $20 here for, I think, for like a 5 to 10 minute. And you can order packages. So you could do like 3, and then you could, ask me 3 questions, or you could come back and, do them at your own pace. So now they're hammering and doing construction. So I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go here. But nobody joined me. But I got to get better at getting on here, and we'll see if the audio was even any good. But I wanted to get my predictions out there before, before anything happens between them. But I definitely think it's going to be between now and 10 years. If it's any longer, it's all optics and bureaucracy. And at this point, their bureaucracy isn't that great. And a lot of times that's a reflection of the astrology. If her moon had been in Virgo or Capricorn, a Capricorn moon with his Taurus, with his Taurus moon would have kept him in his family. Okay. Anyway, all right. Let me know what you think below, and let me know what couples you want to see. And I'll put the links to donate below. It will really help me out so that I can get more of these out to you. If you guys start donating, because I have a lot of clients, but if I had donations to the channel, or you guys started subscribing and liking, I could definitely start finishing up the big 144 for you guys, and getting, a celebrity synastry out every day. I could, honestly, or at least a couple times a week. So let's just get this audio cleared up. A donation might help me get a better mic also. But anyway,